furry friends. How are we doing today? We good? So, last week we talked about what a pain person is, some of the things that can build a pain person, and we let you know that my pain person's name is Michelle, and she's a 7'10" Colombian. Just she out here stallion. I don't know what word this is, y'all. But she out here being a stallion. Anyway, and as we see, I am at best a pony, and that's fine. It's perfectly fine. She's 5'4" on a good day. So, saying all that, we're going to talk about some of the instances that built Michelle in all her glamazon glory. Because a pain person, like I said, in my opinion, from last week, a pain person is somebody that you should avoid or be ashamed of. This is someone you should learn to live with and kind of sit, not passenger princess, but like backseat rider, not even driver, backseat rider. So, get comfy, gonna have a good convo with me and your other internet bestie, Sarah. Here we go.
Thank you, B. This is very, very helpful.
Thank you. Well, you're welcome.
Well, both actually. So, you mentioned about what we talked about last week, what a pain person is, how they're built, and if trauma can also be something that builds a pain person. What are the specific instances from your past that help to build Michelle into what she is today?
So how many you want? Because she got a good couple of points.
Okay, well let's start with, we'll do 3, and then we'll just go from there.
Alright, so I'll talk about the first one. First one we kind of touched on last week. Of course, like the earliest one of my remembrance. My parents divorced. My parents divorced fully in, I believe, 2000. No, I think they initiated their divorce in 2000, but fully divorced by 2002. And I just, it rocked me because for the longest of my life at that point, it was just the 3 of us. Like, it was always just me, my mom, and my dad. So to go from an existence of, oh, mommy and dad, you're doing this, and mommy and daddy, you're doing that, and you, me, mommy and dad, you're doing that, and it's just like to go from that like core family unit to it's just not anymore. And now I don't know if I'm gonna see my dad, and I already don't see my mom a lot, and like this new normal of a conversation about step parents and well, when daddy has his time and then when mommy has her time, and I'm already at this point living with my grandma, so it was already a half in, half out situation, and then to feel like it's gonna be even more out, it just was a lot. And then just feeling like I was the problem, because like I said, somebody in my family had brought up the thought process that they were good until I was born, and then like I just started feeling from that day that just I wasn't good enough. Like I wasn't good enough, and that I was always an issue, and I was always a problem, and that it was my fault. So when growing up, I would always try to like overcompensate. So I would try to like always be good or always be the best, or like I said, my mom was in the military, so she wasn't with me. I lived with my grandma. So like anytime she would come home, I try to make sure all my grades were great, or my behavior at school was amazing, or if I'm competing, like I'm the best at it. Like that drove a lot of my perfectionism for a long time. Until I just wanted to be the greatest, and that just changed. But yeah, that's the first, like the earliest instance of like I really started to affect things and like hurt me in a way. And it's for a lot of divorced kids, it's not a weird story or a different story. It's just like, so it's not like this like astronomically different and world changing thing, but it did hurt me for a while. And that's like the first pain that I can remember.
Wow, that's really intense. I mean, just being, I can't imagine being, what did you say? You were 6 to 8 years old in that time frame, and you're the only child, and you're dealing with the fact that your parents were stable and then they're not so stable and then just completely separated, divorced. And I mean, the feelings of guilt and shame were probably so overwhelming. Do you feel like you could have articulated how you felt at that point?
No. And for the longest, I didn't even understand why I felt this need to be perfect all the time, or this need to be like this really good person, a really good child all the time. Like, I didn't know for the longest, so I couldn't even know my dang self. I dang sure couldn't tell nobody about it.
Right.
But that's what growing up and fully understanding where stuff comes from and why it's there. So I say about high school, early college was when I started to learn or understand oh. Matter of fact, it was early college. It was my first semester of college, first year, somewhere in my first year of college is when it snapped. I'm not the best at this. I'm not really smart here. Like, what's going on? Why do I feel so anxious? Like, why is it hard for me to breathe? I started having anxiety attacks, and dealing with that then was, shout out to the university counselors. Shout out.
I can imagine when you grow up and you kind of feel this need to be perfect, but you don't know where it's coming from. I can imagine that feels really overwhelming, and there's probably this pressure that comes along with it. You're just like, I have no idea where to place this. I'm not sure where it's coming from, and I don't know how to get rid of it or how to stop it. So I feel like that really covers, when you were younger, what happened. You said you started feeling anxiety and having anxiety.
Yeah, a good chunk of Michelle, her fear is definitely based in losing my son. But, God gives us certain things to be able to wish to go through that we end up being able to go through. But I know one thing I would never miss. I never wish a miscarriage on anybody. That's a pain that you can't. When you hear that heartbeat, you don't hear it again. It's really hard.
Wow. No, I mean, I totally can see how upsetting that is. I know you're having pretty difficult time remembering, so thank you for being so open and honest and transparent about that experience. These seem to be really traumatizing experiences that are building Michelle. Is there anything on a smaller scale that you think helped to contribute to who she is and how she was built?
Something smaller. So at one point in my life, I had gotten hurt, and dance was something that always was a constant for me. To see me dance is to see my true self, to see who I am. And I gotten hurt for a while, and I couldn't dance. I was out for 2-3 months. Cause I messed up one ankle really bad. I messed up both my ankles, but it was one would be one was off and then the other was off, so it was bad. Overcompensating and all that. So I couldn't dance for 2-3 months, and I just went through it because I didn't have that outlet no more. And it was something that had I just taken care of myself, I probably wouldn't have been out too long. But I wasn't able to dance for a while, and that left me feeling just so empty because I had never not been able to do it. And it wasn't this is just the universe just being horrible to me. No, I literally just physically got hurt. And the pain of that made me end up having some psychological feelings because I couldn't do the thing that I love to do. I didn't feel like myself anymore because I had never not been able to do it. So I would say that was a small something that happened in high school. That was a small something that it made me be really understanding. Because in high school, you think you superhuman. Like, as a teenager, you don't think anything bad's gonna happen to you. And that was an instance where, like, I just was like, oh shit, like, I'm pliable, bro. I can break. Like, that's not normal. I'm only in certain, like, I think it was like 15. Like, no one thinks that that's gonna happen at 15. Like, of course, like, when you're an athlete of any type, like extreme or not, you know it's a possibility, but you don't. I didn't think anything of it. But yeah, just not being able to do something that is who I am. It was kind of a precursor to once I got out of high school and into college, and having to find out and search out that niche again. So
I understand. Wow. I mean, honestly, dance. Knowing you outside of this, I know that dance is such a big part of your life now still, and so I can't imagine at 15 that it was easy to go through the fact that you couldn't for a while. Yeah, that doesn't sound very doable at all. And everything feels so monumental. Yeah.
To 31-year-old me, like, bro, sit down for 2 weeks. You'll be fine. But 15-year-old me was devastated. Like, what do you mean I can't do it? I was dramatic, though. I was dramatic as hell in the doctor's office. But I was like, what do you mean I can't dance for 2 weeks? No. And then 2 weeks turned into a month because I wasn't paying attention. And I wasn't doing the right thing. A month turned into 2 months. Like, it was bad.
Oh my goodness.
I was stubborn and dramatic. 10 out of 10 would not recommend. Don't do that. Learn from my mistakes. Just do the shit. Right way the first time.
No, I mean, that's actually great advice, because a lot of the times when we're younger, especially, we feel invincible. I feel like I can just walk around and nothing bad's ever going to happen to me. And that's a great feeling. But it's also very dangerous and super humbling when you do have something happen to you, and it completely just shakes everything.
Yeah.
So I get how that definitely.
Something that's wild that was kind of traumatic that helped bring a piece of Michelle to the forefront. It wasn't something that happened to me. It was something that happened around me to me. So my mother has a seizure disorder. And I remember it was the first day of school back from Christmas break, so it was January. I just turned 16 the month prior. My mom gets up, goes to a urinalysis. She's some type of, like, she does her urinalysis for the military at that time. And she goes to work. I'm getting up, getting ready for school like I normally do every other day. You know, I have to go to prom because it was first day back, so we didn't have practice. But you're ready for school, I get a phone call. And it's my mom, and I was like, what? You'll never call me anymore. So I didn't pay attention to it at first. And then she called right back. And anybody that knows me, any normal person, like, somebody calls and they calls right back, you know, like, oh shoot, let me answer the phone. So they answer the phone, I'm like, hey mom, what you doing? They think nothing. She's like, hey, got into an accident. Need you to come down to Comanche Hospital. Bring my medicine bag. I need a list of my medication. What hospital? Comanche. Alright, gotcha. I'm away. I'll tell Dad we're on our way. I did not know how serious the accident had been. I did not know much of anything until I got there. And I tell my dad, and we go. And at this point, my dad is in like a U-Haul truck because he had just moved down that night before. So we go to the hospital, and they let me in because I'm like looking for my mom. They let me in, and life got really real, like that fast, because I walk into the room and I just see clothes, like ripped everywhere, bloody clothes, gauze in places. But then I don't see a bed and I don't see her. So immediately I dropped the bag of medicine. And I was like, where is she? And no one's responding to me. Like, no one. Like, people are looking at me like I'm crazy. And I'm like, where is she? And they're like, what's wrong? Somebody eventually, like a nurse or something, coming to me. And I was like, where is my mom? Like, she just called it. What's happening? Where is my mom? And nobody has an answer for me. They go to I'm at the ER. So they go to the nurse's station and they're like, where is this patient? And the people like, I don't know. Like, what do you mean you don't know? Mind you, I'm 16 and my dad is there. So this is the first time my dad has seen me cuss like ever. Because common sense was not common sensing at the moment. Like the thought that I had just talked to my mom 15 minutes prior did not compute. Like prefrontal cortex was not developed. Because like common sense was not in my brain to be like, how could in 15 minutes you just lost somebody? Like we lived down the street. Like I literally lived down the street from the hospital. So like I know I have not been here that long. Come to find, my mom was having some type of x-ray. They bring her down while I'm flipping the fuck out. They bring her down and I see her and I'm just like, oh my God. Her face was so swollen. She looked like a chipmunk. She was so swollen in the face and in here. And she had this cut that she still has on her face now. She had this cut and it was just like open. And that was the first time that I had seen my mom like lay low. And then reality set in that like, yo, like you gotta start making some real decisions. Because at 16, I'm legally able to make medical decisions for her. I'm like, fuck. Okay, what's up? What's going on? Everybody keeps talking. I'm talking. It's just like that Charlie Brown sound, that womp, 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 like all of it's just like not computing at all. And I started to trip out. Like I started to be like, I can't breathe in here. I need to. And people just keep walking towards me. And my dad, thankfully, like told me to leave me alone and like dissipate for a second. And my mom starts talking to me and she's like, everything's fine, everything's okay. I had no idea how bad the accident was until the next day where they start police coming. And now they're telling us what happened. She doesn't know what happened. She has seizure. No one knows at this point. So come to find, she was coming off of the exit to go to the military base and she had a seizure at the turn. She kept turning. Y'all ever seen like an overpass? Where the overpass comes down and it breaks into the actual street? My mom's car went up into where the overpass and they meet. My mom's car went up, popped off of it, turned, got into the grass. She got out of the car, crawled over to another part of the grass and just laid there. Come to find, she had broke her 11th and 12th vertebrae from getting out of the car. Yeah. So my mom had to have spine surgery, and I had to make some hard decisions on what was gonna happen. And I tell people all the time that like my ability to not care about consequences left that day. Because in that moment, me being an only child became real. Like it wasn't just the cool of it of not having to share toys or being able to be spoiled. Like all of that stereotypical stuff, like none of that mattered now. Because now the reality of if something ever happens to my parents, I'm alone. Like can't nobody go through this with me. You don't know what it is to have these people as your parents. You don't walk my shoes. You don't see my struggle. You don't know what it is for Tawana to sing "You Are My Sunshine" to me. You don't know what it is for Carl to call you his boo and pick you up and turn you around. You don't know, but I do. And now I'm gonna be the only person who knows. And a part of my willful ignorance was just like gone. There's nothing wrong with that. Like it's okay, but for it to happen in like that type of way was kind of like, dang, that shit kind of sucks. And then now that they're older and I'm having to low key like parent my parents, it's kind of I remember sometimes how scared I was and how like I was not okay. Like I tell people all the time, like something happened to my parents, like I'm not gonna be okay. Like I'm not. Unfortunately, if something happens to one of them a little bit more than the other, I would not be okay. But more often than not, like I'm not. Even more often than not, 1,000% I'm not gonna be okay. because there's nobody to walk this walk with me. I don't have what my kids have. I don't have each other. Like, I have me and God. And hopefully, you know, I don't go too far off the gambit and not be able to come back.
Wow. I mean, it's like you said, it didn't happen to you, but it kind of did happen to you.
It was weird. It's this weird feeling of like I didn't go through the pain, but I went through the aftermath. Because me and my mom's relationship has to be on the stomach because I wouldn't give her keys because she had taken her medicine. She couldn't drive her car, and she wanted me to give her keys, and I wouldn't give them to her. So she punched me in the stomach. And then called my dad and was like, "Come get your daughter."
Wow, that is super heavy.
Yeah. It's okay. It happens.
It happened. We're gonna pivot a little bit and talk about romantic relationships because you mentioned your family and how that relationship, that dynamic can help create your pain person. But we all know that romantic relationships are crucial and sometimes can shape us way more than our familial relationships ever could. Is there anything in your romantic life that you feel like contributed to the building of Michelle more so than any of the other incidents we talked about?
Being cheated on definitely kind of built some extreme kind of trust issues that Michelle seeps into. She stews in those a little too much. Shit affects some of the way I treat some people now. But being cheated on, I got cheated on. I've been cheated on quite a few times by two people particularly. This last one hurt a little bit more because I found out about it like long after the fact. So, little backstory. Me and my children's father met in 2012 at my alma mater. Our alma mater, technically you just have to go there, you know what I'm not. So, at our alma mater, we met, didn't date or get together until 2016. It had been like an on again, off again type situation. So by the time we finally decided to like fully like be on and be official, I loved him long before that. I started comparing people to him like not long after we met. Like after we met and it didn't work out at first, and he eventually went to do a state mandated staycation, and I had no idea. So that's another trust issue. But we went to go do that. I would compare other dudes to him. So like I knew that this friend was somebody that was gonna like stay and like be there. I didn't know how, but eventually later on we eventually get together and we were like really happy to be together. We quickly got engaged, and I'm not discounting any of our happy moments because they were phenomenal. They were great. Clearly, I have 3 children with the man, so they were something. Something of happiness at one point. Yeah, over the years it got good, it got bad, it got horrible, it got great, it got amazing, it got completely fucked up as a whole. But January 2022, a week after I buried my grandmother. No, not even the week after. A couple of days after. So we buried my grandma on Friday. We got paternity test results back on a Monday that he indeed had fathered a child who was 15 days older than our first child together. And yeah, like my bubble shattered. My heart shattered. Because there was this person that I had given all of me to. Like all of me to. And you lied. You couldn't be faithful to me for a week. Because women lie, men lie, but numbers will never lie. I went back and me and the girl had a conversation, and she told me how far along she was when she had her daughter, and I had counted all the way back, and it means that we got together. Our anniversary was May 22nd, which was a Sunday. That next Sunday, between May 29th and that first week of June, was when he got her pregnant. So you couldn't be faithful to me for a week. And you knew. You sat in front of my face. And you knew. You came to my house. And you moved into my house. And you started this life with me. With a lie. Like my entire life, our entire life together had been a lie. And that's what it felt like. It felt like I had fallen in love with a lie. Like, did I know this person? I've had 3 children with you. Well, at this point, 2. Because, yeah, May was 3rd yet. But at this point, like, I've had 2 kids with you. I changed my life. I sacrificed for you. I moved and left a life that I built for you. I put my credit on the line. I've put my life on the line with having these children for you, for us. And now to find out 6 years later, now that I love you, now that we got skin in the game. And had you just told me the truth the weekend, I wouldn't have none of this shit. And I sat on this double-edged sword because I love my kids. I love my kids, and I couldn't go through life without them. They've kept me alive multiple times. So it's not like I'm not grateful, but you didn't even give me the choice to be grateful. You took that away from me. And all the feelings of like me not being good enough, and me being stupid, and me not being pretty enough, and well, what if I would have done this differently, or what if I would have said that, like, all the what ifs popped into my head, and like literally just the continued record of you weren't good enough just kept playing in my head over and over and over and over and over and over again, to the point that I was just like, we were laying in the bed and we were talking about what to do or how we felt about something, and he just starts crying. And every part of me on the inside was just like, bitch, shut the fuck up. Shut up. You don't have the right to cry to me right now. You don't have the right to tell me about how much you want your family. You lied to your family. Everybody else judged you and treated you badly and said you didn't deserve this and said you weren't X and said you weren't Y and you felt judged by this person and you felt it. All of that. I didn't care about none of that. I cared about you. And you sat in this bed every single solitary night and you lied to me. Anybody that know me know, like, I can deal with a lot. I can't deal with a lie. I can deal with a lot. I cannot deal with a lie. I can deal with you cheating. I can't deal with a lie. Because people, I understand people are human. People make mistakes. I can't expect you to be perfect. You gonna fuck up sometimes. And some fuck ups I can understand. Some fuck ups we can work through if you telling me the truth. Just tell me the truth. Let me choose from there. And the fact that was taken away, that shit hurt. And the fact that it was taken away by somebody that had seen me at my most vulnerable. Like a week ago, you heard me crying myself to sleep because my grandma was dying. And you sat in this bed, you didn't even tell me, like, hey baby, for real though, this is probably my daughter. Well, baby, how you know? Because I slept with her after we got together. Damn, you can't tell me once. At this point, we done had 2 kids. We live in state number 3 together. House number 3 together. Sorry, no. House number 4 together. I was there with you when you was flipping burgers and Carl's Jr. talking about your restaurant. I was there when you was working your overnights at your job. Current job you have, something like that, but I'm not telling what that is. But when you was when you was at your current job and you started and you was working overnights and you was hurting. I was there when your best friend died. And you mean to tell me you couldn't open your mouth and tell me nothing? That's hurt. How I look at people changed. Like my trust for him was broken. So, and then all that sadness turned into anger. As soon as we went to counseling, he tried to sit there and be like, well, I mean, was it cheating? Excuse me? What? I remember the look on our therapist's face when, and I can laugh about it now because it's kind of ridiculous, but I went down and I got Merriam-Webster's definition of cheating. And I was just like, isn't cheating when you do X, Y, and Z? And she was like, well, yeah, that's the definition. And I was like, okay, so if you did, and I just explained it all out. And she was like, that would be cheating. I said, okay, so you cheated. Got it. Thanks. Done. And it was like he wouldn't say it. And I was just like, but we know you did it. Like, there is a beautiful child out here walking around. It's proof. All the proof we need. You couldn't just be honest with me. But I will say, about a week or two after me and him got together, I started feeling like, well, maybe this wasn't the best of ideas. And there was something in my spirit that wasn't settled, but I just let it go because I thought it was just my anxiety. I thought it was just me thinking I didn't deserve anything. Sidebar. Listen to that feeling. Always listen. Someone's telling you something for a reason. But I mean, relationship-wise, it's cheating. Because it's the lie of it all. It's the you didn't even think I was good enough for the truth of it all. That's the part that hurts.
Wow. I mean, being cheated on once, I can imagine, is like super difficult, but it happening multiple times across different relationships. That's, I mean, I don't know how you could trust anybody, honestly.
I couldn't for a long time. But that in itself, and recognizing, because you attract certain people to you, right? And recognizing that I was leading and loving out of fear so much, and out of this feeling of unworthiness and having to prove myself so much, it changed how I date. So now when I look for a partner, I'm not looking for that. I'm not looking to prove to you that I'm good enough. So I am good enough. Beyond good enough. Because I know whose I am now. Not even just who I am. I know whose I am now. And that feeling is repositioned. So knowing Michelle knowing Michelle definitely like 180'd how I approach starting any type of relationship, like romantic, platonic, professional, any of them. It changed how I lead in my approach to relationships.
Yeah. I mean, Michelle, she is a very strong woman, as we know.
Yes.
7'10", is that right?
Amazon, yep.
Yeah. So she's definitely out here.
30 inch splash down all the time.
That's a period, and that's the way to do it. So.
Like 4A type texture, I'm telling you, like I have envisioned Michelle.
Do you feel like that's helped you a lot?
Yeah, it has. It really has. It's helped with my self-image too.
Okay.
Because seeing what can be for me helped remind me of what I am. Because in my previous relationship, there were times where I didn't feel like I even looked like myself. And not just like weight-wise, because yes, that's going to fluctuate because I'm human and I was having kids, but I wasn't paying attention to me. So my hair wouldn't always be done the way that I know I would want it. My nails and toes and stuff wouldn't be done the way that I know I would want it. I wouldn't go buy myself clothes because I don't have the time and I don't have the availability. In reality, I did. I just didn't want to put that in me. I wanted to put everything I could into this relationship so I could take a backseat. I want to put this into relationship. I want to put this into my kids. I want to put this into our dreams, not my dreams, our dreams. And you know, if I take the time to make the sacrifice for him, he loves me. He'll take the time to make the sacrifice for me when it's my turn. But it was never my turn. And it's because I didn't love myself enough to say, hey, no. As much as I put into you, I gotta put into me now. And either you can get with it or you can get lost. And thankfully, he got lost on his own. So it forced me to be able to put it back into me. But now I'm into the place where if, as a partner, you can't support me, put it into me too. And I'm not talking about you pay for anything. Like, no, I'm not that. But if you can't be like, hey, babe, I love that you did your hair like that. It looks great. Or you see me having a bad day or seeing something like that, you be like, hey, is it your nail appointment next week? What kind of nails are you gonna get? Let's talk about it. To try to take me out of it, of something being so hard. Because I'm not, like I said, I'm not asking you to pay for it, but I'm asking you to support me in reminding me, like, hey, you important too. Yeah, these kids are great. Yeah, these kids are important. Yeah, these kids are top priority. But you gotta be top priority too. Because if you not good, they not good. You not good, we not good. Like, I need somebody, and I understand the concept now. When the Bible says that you need to love, that man is called to love his wife like God loves the church. That's a lot of love. And I now know, and I'm okay with saying that I deserve that type of love too. And not just to give it, but to receive it. Because I know when I love hard. Like, super deep hard. It is not just romantically. When I love my friends, we in there. We locked. It's like, you ain't going nowhere. And I am that friend that once we are friends, you're stuck with me, shawty. Stuck. Sarah knows.
I can attest to this.
Sarah knows.
But I love that.
But like, we locked in. So I know I love hard in all aspects. I'm extremely fiercely loyal. I'm a friend that'll fight with you. Just let me know what's up. You need me to pull up and pop up. I ain't. Shoot, I'll find a way. I'll get a sitter real quick. Well, I'll call somebody. Hey, can you come over to the house and watch the kids? For what? I don't know yet. Just come over here. Now. Like, I know how I am, and I know now that I deserve that. And honestly, making Michelle a real person in my mind helped me know that.
I'm glad. Okay, so lots of heavy stuff today. Lots of relationship, lots of digging into our past and understanding how Michelle was built. Is there anything you want to add before we close out today?
Really just pay attention to the things that hurt you, because they're there. Let's not bottle up, our hurt and our feelings just to appease other people. And never forget who you are and whose you are. Because I know as a person who forgot that for a while, so I can't. And that's why I don't try to put too much hate under that, because I forgot who I was for a time. So if I forget, I can't teach you who I am anymore. I don't know. Do I put fault on him not, being supportive in those things? Or being loving or being kind? Yeah. But there are times where I gotta fault myself too. I wasn't the best. But I didn't know me. I didn't know me. So I'm operating and loving and not the top form either. So, take the time to know who you are, whose you are. And, just be careful with yourself. Be grateful and graceful with yourself. It's okay. Sometimes it's hard. What's that one saying? It's okay to not be okay? That's just okay. Not everybody's gonna be it. But if you don't know you, can't nobody else know you. Is that it? That's it. That's it for today, because y'all almost caught me crying a couple times. I'm not for that shit. So, this is going to be where we pause the journey today. we will come back with a little less stressful a topic, a little less heavy. I'm sorry we came in so heavy and so hot, but I kind of wanted to set the tone of who this pain person was. So if y'all ever hear me saying a pain person, or Michelle B. Weiland, y'all know now who she is and why she's being mentioned. But not all these topics are gonna be so hard and so heavy. We might get into little tantalizing subjects here soon. We don't know, maybe. But I will see you later, my fine furry friends. Bye.